My name is Fredrick Ounya, a teacher of mathematics and business studies. I'm a graduate of Kenyatta University, class of 2008. I have 13 years teaching experience in Dandora Secondary School. In Dandora Secondary School, I am the HOD in charge of technical and applied subjects. I am also a member of the board representing the teachers in the board of management. I am a national examiner in business studies, paper 1. My hobbies and interests range across adventure and sports and careers. I am a trained coach in badminton and table tennis, and I've prepared students to participate at different levels, and they've performed so well in those two sports. I am the patron in charge of junior achievement for over 10 years now, mentoring students on entrepreneurship. The motivation to become a teacher came in when I was in Form 3, which is equivalent of grade 11. At this stage, I realized that I was in a stream whereby most of the learners were very weak in mathematics. And among the weak learners, I was the best, but considered still to be the weak. Most of the students in my class kept motivating me that I was the best among the weak. My teacher of mathematics also kept encouraging me that it was possible to make it. From that particular given point, I started improving on my grades, and every other time we were given assignments, I would research about it, go out, get more information which I could be able to come and give feedback to the rest of the class, and this really motivated me, and eventually I improved in mathematics. And that is how I decided finally that I should become a teacher of mathematics. My experience in co-curricular activities involves a trainer in badminton and table tennis. I am also the school coach in athletics, and I'm also involved in clubs and societies as the patron for Junior Achievement Kenya. I have taught mathematics and business studies for the last 13 years, and the age groups of the learners which I've been handling ranges between 14 years of age up to 18 years of age. I always prepare my lessons to teach by first identifying the topic and the subtopic for which I'm interested in or for which I'm supposed to teach in. Once I've identified the subtopic, then I roll down into identifying the various objectives from the syllabus that is provided by the KICD and the Kenya National Examination Council. Once I have the objectives, then the next step is to research for the appropriate content that I'll be able to deliver to the learners. Once I've identified the content, now I gather the necessary resources that are needed for the lesson. For example, I put together the charts that I need for that particular given lesson. I can also prepare the slides that are needed for teaching, and as well, I also seek feedback from my colleagues on what's expected in regard to the lesson for which I'm preparing for the learners. My lesson plan always contains the topic of discussion, the subtopic, the various objectives, which are measurable statements that are supposed to be achieved by the learners. It also contains the relevant materials, for example, the teaching and learning materials that are needed to be able to deliver the lesson. Part of the lesson plan also shows the introduction that is supposed to be a review of the previous lesson. Then it also provides for the main body, where it provides the various activities that are supposed to be undertaken by the teacher as well as by the students. Then it has the conclusion that provides a summary of what has been learned, as the students are required to give the feedback. Once that has been provided, the lesson plan should also provide for the reflection as well as the assignment to be given to the students. One of the teaching strategies that I use in my class is the hands-on activities. Mathematics being a subject that requires the learners to practice, I usually use this particular given teaching strategy to provide some of the questions that the student needs to solve on their own so that they can have a real experience of what's expected of them. As the students are on with the activity, I usually walk around in class to ensure that the students are doing what's expected of them, and for those ones that are stuck, I'm able to correct and probably guide them in the appropriate way. The second strategy that I use in my class is that one of group discussions. Many times I have student groups that are well structured according to their ability and sometimes in mixed abilities. Whenever I've given out the assignment, I check on the level of the assignment that I'm giving out such that when I group the students, I ensure that the assignment can be tackled based on the ability for which I've given out the assignment. When the discussion groups are on, I still go around the class to ensure that the groups are comfortable with what they are doing, and probably if they are stuck, I can always provide the necessary assistance that is needed. Some of the activities the students in my class, you find them engaged in, include presentations, group work, peer teaching, problem solving, critical and creative thinking. One of the methods of evaluation that I use is formative evaluation. Formative evaluation is an ongoing activity that involves observation, short quizzes, and the day-to-day assignments which I use to evaluate the learners and to be able to give feedback to them in terms of their academic growth. The second method of evaluation that I use is summative evaluation. In summative evaluation, a comprehensive assessment is done based on what the learner has been able to do over a given period of time, which could be a term or a year. In my school, we give 2 continuous assessment tests and a main exam that is done at the end of the term. So the 3 assessments are used to provide a comprehensive report based on the performance of the student academically that can be communicated to the student and as well as the parents. I have embraced the use of technology in teaching and learning. In my situation, I use social media as one of the tools to which I can be able to pass the information to the learners and at the same time collecting information from them. One of those social media that I commonly use is WhatsApp, whereby I've developed a WhatsApp group with my learners such that I can be able to share information, and whenever they have challenging tasks, they can be shared in the group for purpose of providing feedback to those ones who are stuck with their assignments. Number 2 is the use of projectors for purpose of projecting information in class by use of a laptop and a projector to be able to provide the notes that are needed to the learners and maybe to be able to perform various tasks easily. In the use of the smartboard, I've not been able to use it. Given an opportunity, I'm willing to learn, and I'm already out to gather information on the use of the smartboard. If I find a group of noisy or unattentive learners in my class, the first thing is to draw a signal or send a signal to them by looking straight onto them. That will pass a message that I'm aware of what they are doing, and probably they are likely to stop making the noise. If the noise persists, then I'll have to walk straight onto the group that is making noise and ensuring that the rest of the class is calm or on with the various activities that are supposed to be undertaken. If the problem persists with the noise making, then I'll have to take out the students who are involved out of the class such that we can be able to talk, and if the issue persists, I'll have to escalate the issue with the administrators. One of the most difficult situations I've found myself in is a situation whereby students are fighting in school. There is a day a prefect ran onto me while I was on duty and reported to me that there were some 2 boys who were fighting behind the toilets. So one thing that we did was walking straight to where the boys were fighting, as the other students were cheering. So the first thing that I did was to stop the students from fighting, and I dispersed the students who were cheering onto their respective stations. Then I ordered the students who were fighting to follow me to the office. When we got to the office, we got to resolve the issues by first calling the first aiders to administer the necessary first aid, as some of the boys were already bleeding from their nose. So once the issue was settled down, I asked the boys to write a report as to why they were fighting. Then the next step, I escalated the issue with the administrators, given that this was an indiscipline issue that needed the attention of the administrators. I am a very flexible person. Over the years, I've been able to adapt to various changes within the work environment. By pursuing this particular given project on the cultural exchange program, it's a great sense of flexibility that now I'm willing to move from one given environment to the other. The adoption of technology in teaching is also another aspect of flexibility that I've been able to accommodate over the years. Thank you, and hope that I'll get an opportunity to work with you. Bye-bye.